Hey there, and welcome to this Yin Yoga practice for when you feel like you're in a funk. I hadn't planned on recording this class at all today. I had a different class ready to record, but as I was getting myself set up, I kind of felt a little bit like stressed and overwhelmed and even a little bit sad. So I actually took my own advice and I said I would do some Yin Yoga to help for when you're in a funk. I recorded that class, and when I got to the end of it, I realized that my memory card had filled up and that it didn't actually record. But I actually feel okay. So I think that that's a true testament to this Yin Yoga practice. It definitely helped me just to get grounded again, to process those emotions. And as I said, I do feel better now. So I hope that this practice can do the same for you. Before we get into the practice, I just want to start by saying that it's okay not to feel okay. We all go through all kinds of emotions. We all feel everything on the emotion spectrum, and it's just part of being human, and it's a part of life. And I think no one would ever give advice to ignore your emotions or just to suppress them. The advice is always to process them and to go through it. You get past it by going through it. So that's really where Yin Yoga can be so beneficial. It just creates the time and space for us to just sit with those emotions and, to see what comes up. Try not to label them as good or bad. Just let them be. And usually we do find our own ways of getting through them. So we're going to start today in Child's Pose. So you can come to whatever version of Child's Pose that you prefer. Knees can stay together or they can come wide apart. Big toes will stay touching each other. And then you can reach your hands towards the front of the mat, or they might come back to rest with the palms up next to your feet. Forehead can come to the mat, or if it doesn't make it to the mat, you can always make a platform with your hands. Rest your forehead onto your hands instead. So we're going to stay here for 3 minutes in total. Finding your breath wherever it is in your body. And we'll try to encourage some really deep breathing here. So as you breathe in, feeling your belly expand, feeling it squish against your legs, feeling the air rising up into your chest, opening up your rib cage, and maybe you feel it in your throat as well. And then as you exhale, belly empties, chest empties, throat empties. Dropping into this stillness and this silence. We're breathing in peace and relaxation, and we're breathing out stress and tension. Now when you're ready, we're going to make our way out of the pose, so you can start to gently pick yourself back up again. Make your way into Tabletop Pose, having your knees directly below your hips And then from here, we'll make our way into melting heart pose. So reach your hands towards the front of your mat. Your knees will stay directly below your hips here, and then melt your chest down onto the ground. Forehead can come back down onto the mat, starting to feel that opening across the back of your heart space. We're just getting rid of any stress or tension caught up in that area. If you feel that this is a little bit too intense, or if you feel any tingling or numbness within your fingers, just bring a bend into your elbows. Bring your hands back a little bit closer to your body. We're here for 3 minutes. Noticing how your breath feels different in your body now. Breathing in to fill up the belly. And as you fill up your chest, maybe you can open up the back of your shoulders a little bit more, so you intensify that stretch as you breathe in. And on your exhale, maybe you can sink your chest a little lower to the mat. Whenever you're ready, you can start to come out of the pose, so gently lifting yourself back up, making your way back into your seat for a moment. From here, we're going to come into one of the only standing poses in Yin, and that is dangle or dangling. So you can have the soles of your feet on your mat. Feet are about hip distance apart here. Keep a bend in your knees, and that's going to help you to keep your spine straight. So if you find that you're hunching here in this pose, bend your knees, and that's going to help you to keep your back nice and straight. Hands can hang low to the mat, or they might come to hold opposite elbows here. Release your head towards the ground. Relax your jaw, soften your facial muscles. And we're going to stay here for 3 minutes, sending all of the blood down towards the head, and that has a really calming effect on the mind. So let's connect to our breath again. As we breathe in, we feel the belly squishing against the legs. You might notice that it lifts you slightly out of the pose because your lungs are full. But then each time you exhale, your lungs are empty. You might be able to squish your upper body a little bit more into your legs. Use whatever sensations you feel within your body like anchors to keep your mind here on your yoga mat. See if your jaw has clenched again. Relax it if it has. Release your head again, relaxing those muscles at the back of your neck. And just a few more big breaths here. We'll take ourselves out of the pose now, so you can take a really generous bend back into your knees. Bring your hands back behind you and then release your hips back down onto your mat. So you can have your hips in the center of your mat, and we'll make our way down to lie on our backs now. So once you're there, you might take a moment in Shavasana Pose. Hands and feet spread wide apart, palms facing up. And just give your body a chance here to process the poses that we've done so far. Feel your breath again in your body. Now from here, you can bring a bend into your left knee, so the sole of your left foot is on your mat. And then we'll take the right ankle and bring it up onto the left thigh. So we have a figure 4 shape with our legs. We'll make our way into a reclined swan pose here. So we'll keep this top foot flexed, and that's going to help to protect our top knee. We'll gently start to press that right knee away from the body. So starting to feel something here within your right hip. Tap into that sensation, send your breath to it. And now ask your body if it wants to go a little bit deeper into the pose. And if it does, you can start to walk that left foot a little bit closer to you, or you might even thread your hands through your legs here to come and find the inside or outside of this left knee. So if you are here in this bound pose, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, make yourself heavy here. We'll stay here for 3 minutes. So keep your mind focused on those sensations. Keep breathing into whatever tightness you feel. Now in your own time, you can start to release yourself from this pose, bringing both feet back down onto the mat. Once they're there, you can take them to about hip distance apart, maybe wider, and we'll do a few windshield wipers. So we're exhaling, releasing the knees both down to one side. Inhale to lift them up and exhale to drop them to the opposite side. Just helping to loosen up the hips here, maybe uncovering some tight spots, and it might feel nice just to pause at that spot. And the next time that your knees are back in center, you can keep them there. We'll set ourselves up for reclined swan on the opposite side now. So this time your right foot comes in towards your body. Left ankle comes up onto the right thigh. We're flexing this left foot and then gently pressing that left knee away from us. Straight away sending a big breath down into that left hip. And if you're ready, you might thread your hands to locate that right knee. Relax your shoulders, soften your jaw. And we'll stay here for the next 3 minutes. Now you can start to release the pose, undoing your legs, both feet back down onto the mat. Doing a few windshield wipers, getting rid of any residue of stress and tension from your hips. Now when you're ready, we'll bring ourselves into our next pose, which is a reclined butterfly. So we're bringing the soles of the feet together to make a big diamond shape with the legs. Now knees will just hang here. We don't want to force them down. Just let gravity do the work. The further away your feet are from your body, the less intense this will be. So you can find a position that's sustainable for you. And then we're here for the next few minutes, tapping into that sensation within your hips, finding your breath, making everything heavy. Just letting the pose do the work here. So hip openers can be quite intense and they can be very emotional for a lot of people. So if you find that you feel emotional after doing hip opening poses, that's completely normal. And it is believed that we store stress within our hips. And sometimes when we are in a bit of a funk and we can't explain it, it can be from something that happened maybe during the week, maybe a year ago, maybe 10 years ago. And it might be something that your body has stored onto. And then for whatever reason, maybe something triggered it to release. And that's why we can find ourselves in these funky moods. And as I said, often hip openers can release those emotions. But I like to think of it as them saying goodbye on their way out. So they won't stay, they will leave. Sometimes it might take a lot of yoga practices to get them out, but they will go. And if certain emotions come up for you, try not to label them, try not to think of them as good or bad. Just let them be. They're just saying hello, and they will also say goodbye. One more reminder here to soften your jaw. Relax your face, make your shoulders heavy. A few more breaths here in this pose. You might use your hands now to lift your knees back up towards each other. Take as much time as you need to get out of this pose. You can do a few windshield wipers when you're ready, exhaling to drop, inhaling to lift. Now you can send your feet back down to the end of your mat. We'll take a moment in Shavasana Pose. Maybe feeling all this new energy that the practice is creating. And just letting your body soak it all up here. Big breaths, opening up your belly and your chest and your throat. Exhaling, releasing tension. We'll make our way now into the final pose of this practice. We'll do banana pose. So we'll step both feet into the bottom right corner of our mat. You might have your hands on your hips for a moment. Just make sure they stay in the center of the mat, and then pick your head and shoulders up, walk them over to the top right corner of your mat. Then you can extend your arms up past your head. So we've made this banana shape with the body. We start to feel a nice opening all along the left side of the body. We're just going to stay here, letting the pose do the work. If you want to take it a little bit further, you could cross your left ankle over your right, and maybe you'll take your right hand, use it to gently pull your left wrist away from your body. Big breaths to help open everything up even further. Opening up your body, just letting it get rid of everything. Now we'll take our pose over to the opposite side, so when you're ready, hands can come back to find your hips. Walk both feet into the bottom left corner, and then pick up your head and shoulders, walk them into the top left corner. Extend your arms up past your head and find that stretch all along the right side. Take it further if your body asks you to by crossing right ankle over the left. Use your left hand now to gently pull your right wrist away from you. If your mind has drifted away, which is completely normal, come back to your body, back to your breath, or just back to the room that you're in. Notice the temperature, the smells, the sounds around you. And just stay here for a few more breaths. Let's release ourselves from the pose now, coming back to center. Find your Shavasana pose, spreading the arms and legs wide apart, palms facing up. Release all of your muscles away from the bones. Let them drop into your mat. Everything becomes heavy. Everything is relaxing. You've done so much good for your body and your mind with this yin practice. So just let your body soak up all this new energy that you've created. And we're going to take the next moment just to lie here. Nothing to do, nothing to be, nothing to become. Now I encourage you to stay here for as long as you can. But if you are ready, you can make your way back up into a seat on your mat. However you get there is fine. And once you're there, just come into your most comfortable seat. We'll bring our palms together at the chest. Close your eyes, bow your head towards your heart. Take the deepest breath you've taken so far today. Breathing in peace, and then exhaling, getting rid of whatever you don't want to take with you into the rest of your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Do you feel better? I hope you do. Please let me know in the comments below if you do. And if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by leaving a thumbs up. If you enjoy yin yoga practices, check out this playlist. I have lots more yin videos there. And if you do feel called to do so, please subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out, and I'd really love to practice with you in the future. So until next time, namaste.